Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is the 10th of December. Two NBA Western Conference Cup games on the board for today. Oklahoma City, Phoenix, Spurs, and my Lakers. We are going to get into it for today, man. Let's jump into it. Let's go. So first off, we start with a recap of yesterday. Just a 1-0 day for myself yesterday. Only thing I did play, and we talked about it right on the show. Almost felt like a collab play. Like I felt like a lot of people in the chat liked it. I liked it as well. The under between the Magic and the Miami Heat. And shout out to the Miami Heat offense, just running out of gas. They literally couldn't score the ball in the third quarter. If they could have, the game definitely would have went over because they couldn't stop Desmond Bain specifically in that third quarter. So 1-0 day yesterday, finished 225. We had under 235 and a half. And the Knicks game I would have got right too. I just didn't bet it. Would have bet Knicks. Thought that they would turn it around a little bit, and they did end up smacking the Raptors after the first quarter yesterday. So just a 1-0 day for myself. Hopefully you guys found some ways to make some money. Hopefully it should be a little bit of a quicker show today. I dove pretty deep into these games yesterday, and I want to share with you guys what I came up with. Let's see. Jay Hank says good call on both unders yesterday. Love to see that. Nice says good morning, Chris in chat. Miami Heat, what's wrong with them? They just don't play a lot of defense. Remember I talked about this yesterday, right? I said that the Miami Heat transition defense was, I think I said 26 yesterday. And yeah, that's what it really comes down to. Miami loves to get out and push, and you're not going to play any defense. It's crazy to think that a Spoelstra-led defense, though, just thinks the way that the Miami Heat defense does right now. But facts are the facts, though. The proof is in the pudding. That's why I look at the numbers. What's up, PZ? Appreciate you for tapping in. Fly0 says both unders was a good look. Wish I had the show. My pick of the day was Anthony Black over his 8.5 rebounds and assists, and he killed it. Glad you cashed yesterday, Fly0. What up, Prolific? Says good morning, Chris. Both games stayed under, but no bet. Damn it. Good morning, Taylor, my guy. Jay Carter says let's get to the bag today. Orlando might be be better than we thought. Well, it just depends, right? What were your expectations for Orlando coming into the season? What were your expectations for Orlando after 10 games? Because they stunk after 10 games. And they still don't even have Franz. So this was what we expected from the Magic. I think a lot of people expected this from the Magic when they were, I think power rated like the third best team in the Eastern Conference behind the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. Good morning for real. Says can't believe they fade down the stretch. He looked strong in the first half. That's how it always is, right? Like if you were in Miami, they did cover the first half yesterday. They were up 1 at the end of the first half. I think they would have covered. Good morning, Los. He says, let's give a round of applause to the Magic, showing the world that the Heat are fugazi. Fly0 says, Luka 30 for 30. What up, Blunt? Appreciate you for tapping in. Top of the morning to my guy, Justin. Win, lose, or draw. Morning community. Lakers land too many points. We're going to talk about it. Take the Spurs plus 6.5. Way too many points for the Lakers. Jordan says, good morning, everyone. Phoenix Suns today. Let's jump into the two games. Sounds like y'all ready to go. All right, so Jackson's up first. AI Sports Betting Tool. Link is in the description as it always is. Yesterday, what did I give you guys yesterday? Let's see. I gave you Bam over his rebounds. I didn't check any of these, so I need to check. Bam rebounds was at 9.5 yesterday. The way that they play defense, I would only assume that they did not get to that number. But let's go double check it real quick. I know I didn't look at Bam rebounds last night. Had a look on Khalil Ware under his boards, especially after he went over in the first quarter, but didn't end up getting there. So Bam finished with 8 rebounds. That was a loser. Come on, Jackson, get it together. And then the second one was on Jalen Brunson over his points and assists. And I'm pretty sure he cleared that line yesterday. Brunson was absolutely cooking, man. Absolutely on fire. Finished the game with 35 points and 4 assists. So honestly, I'm guessing he covered it, but this points line probably was like 29.5, and he didn't get that many assists. So I'm not sure like what the line was yesterday. And the way that Jackson wrote it up doesn't give me a number. So not sure about Brunson. My apologies there. All right, let's jump into it for today, though. So I asked Jackson for, let's see. The prompt was, what is the best total bet in the NBA for today? And what is the best spread bet in the NBA for today based on situational and analytical factors? So Jackson likes the Oklahoma City Thunder minus the 14.5. It says I'm laying the minus 14.5 against the Phoenix Suns. The Thunder are the most dominant team in the league, and the Suns are severely compromised by injuries, setting the stage for a decisive blowout. So we have analytical factors, league's best team, Thunder having a historic season, ranking first in net rating, plus 15.9, first in defensive rating, 104.1. Their 23-1 record is supported by ranked number 1 in expected wins at 74.4. That's crazy to think, bro. Let's take a second for a second. All right, listen. Their expected wins are 74.4. So they're expected to win 75 games over 72 game stretch, 82 game stretch. Efficiency differential, Thunder are plus 15.9, plus is a 13.8 points higher than the Suns' net rating of plus 2.1, which ranks 12th. This suggests that the Thunder should be favored by nearly 14 points on a neutral court, making the 14.5 line analytically sound, even before factoring in the injuries. So then you got the defensive dominance. OKC's defense is elite and limited in opponent scoring, ranking number 1 in efficiency, effective field goal percentage allowed 51%, number 1 in points per possession allowed 104. So it's a lot of other things. It's a lot. I'm not reading all this. Then it talks about the injuries, Thunder motivation to win the cup, blah 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 blah. Then as far as the total bet, the under, same game, under between the Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder, under 226 is the recommendation for Jackson. Here it says the line is inflated by the Thunder's elite offense, but the Suns' severe offensive limitations against the league's best defense will suppress the final score. So elite defensive stronghold. The Thunder's defense is the best in the league, ranking number 1 in defensive rating, number 1 in opponent effective field goal percentage. They are particularly strong in limited transition opportunities, ranked number 1 in transition frequency allowed at 12.5%. The Suns' offensive limitations, they rank 12th in offensive rating, is already below average for a contender, and without Booker, who is questionable, we got to take it into consideration, and Green, their efficiency will plummet against OKC's pressure. Then you got pace. Suns ranked 25th in pace. I did look into this last night. They ranked 25th in pace at 99 possessions per game. The Thunder are league average at 15th in pace, 100 possessions per game. The lack of high pace prevents the game from generating the volume of possessions needed to push the total up and over to 226. So then the situational stuff, the Suns' turnover pressure. Suns' offense is compromised. The defense is elite at forcing turnovers, ranking number 1 in steals, 10.8 per game. They rank number 2 in turnover percentage allowed. The defensive pressure will slow down the Thunder's offense, which is crucial for under. And yeah, Jackson likes under. Under and the Suns minus the 14.5. Link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Jackson. Let's go. First up is that game. Give you guys my thoughts after Jackson gave you its thoughts. So Suns and the Thunder. Real quick, let me just grab the freshest of the fresh line. So open 14.5, which is where it is now. It did go up to 15. 15.5, I think I saw as well. Now it's come back down to 14.5. Total open to 25.5. And it did go up as well. The 226 looks like some 226 out there, some 224.5 out there, some 225 look like it's consensus right now. So injury report, we start with Devin Booker is on the injury report, listed as questionable for this game. He's not played in, how long has it been for Devin Booker? It's been a handful of games. Yeah, I'm not sure how many games he's missed right now, but it's the right growing strain. We'll see if he plays. Of course, it's significant. Without him, I think the Suns' offense, I don't have to tell you guys, I think their offense is going to struggle. No Jalen Green, Isaiah Livers continues to be out as well. On the Oklahoma City Thunder side of things, Dort and SGA were out in that last game against the Utah Jazz. They're both off the injury report, but they still will be without Isaiah Joe and Isaiah Hartenstein. So you look at Phoenix, right? They're 6-6 straight up on the road, 7-5 against the numbers, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. 4th straight road game for them. They played I think 5 of their last 6 games on the road as well. And then you look at OKC. This team is kind of crazy, man. 11-0 at the crib. They haven't lost. 6-5 against the number at home. 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 games. They won 15 in a row, a league high, of course. And they've covered 3 in a row after not covering their previous 3. So it's difficult in this game. This is the second meeting between these two teams. OKC did win the first game. They did not cover the spread. That was 2 games after Thanksgiving. 123-119 as a 14.5-point favorite. That game did go over the total of 223. But I remember this game. I vividly remember this game. I didn't bet it, but it was a cup game. And what we bet was Devin Booker under his points. I think it was 23.5. He ended up just dishing the ball really in that game and didn't really score too many points. Phoenix got hot in the fourth quarter. I don't remember exactly what they shot in the fourth quarter, but I remember Royce O'Neal just would not stop hitting 3-pointers. And it did force the game up and over the total. And let me just see if I can find it real quick. 123 to 119. Phoenix scored 37 points in the fourth quarter. They scored 30 points in the third quarter after only scoring 52 in the first half. So they scored 67 points in OKC. I just don't think that part is going to happen again. This game finished 242, which of course is why the books, they're not going to go crazy with the total. As far as adjusting it, I think, looking at the Phoenix Suns, they're not necessarily the worst team in the world, but it's really going to come down to if they're going to be able to knock down threes. If they can shoot 15 for 44 from the 3-point line for 34%, like they did in the last game, they will cover. I think that they absolutely will cover. OKC, if we know anything about OKC, they don't give up a lot of points at the rim. So initially, from a player prop perspective, I lean Mark Williams under his points. Then I went to go look at the line, and it's 9.5. I couldn't quite get there with 9.5 for Mark Williams, and I'll show you guys why. So let me just go over real quick to Outlier. This is the first player prop I considered, and I got 2 more that I want to share with you guys as well. But if we go to Outlier, link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Outlier as well, of course. So we look at Mark Williams. His points at 9.5 is actually up to 10.5 now. So the money is actually coming in this over, but you can see that they give up the fewest points in the NBA to the center position, third. I mean, they don't give up a lot. Not only do they not give up a lot of points, they don't give up a lot of points where Mark Williams likes to score the basketball. The problem is you see all these overs for Mark Williams, and I do think that the line is just a tad bit too low, in my opinion, to want to take this. One thing I looked at was, let's see. One thing I looked at last night was Mark Williams gets 70% of his points inside the restricted area. OKC is number 1, in that category specifically. But if we look at, games where, first of all, we could just look at the game that Mark Williams played against them earlier this season. And he went over in that game. He had 13 points. Last season when he played him, he had 12 points. So I couldn't quite get there fading Mark Williams. I think that they will need him to score the basketball. And I think he could potentially get a couple offensive rebounds. Like the number's just a tad bit too low for me to feel comfortable taking this. So I stayed off of Mark Williams under, but that was the way that I was looking. If it go up to 11.5, though, I might consider it. You can see that he's just been crushing this, this line. And it's been lower than this too. It's been higher than this. Of course, they're going to adjust it down when you're playing against a really good team. But you can see shooting 73% from the field in the last few games. So that was the first thing I considered. The other thing I considered was going back to Devin Booker. This time, his assist last night was at 7.5. I'm pretty sure the juice is probably coming on and pushed this down to 6.5 on most books. But I consider his assists as well under. We know that OKC doesn't give up a lot of assists. You can see that they give up the second fewest against the shooting guard position, right outside top 10. Point guard position, if you think Devin Booker played that role, 4th fewest. So this was something that I considered head-to-head wise. He did get the 6 assists in that last game against them. So I also consider Devin Booker under his assists as well. He just, kind of struggled to get to his assist prop in this one, against this defense. Another thing that I considered was SGA actually under his assists. So SGA assist line was 7.5 last night as well. I think the juice has pushed this down to 6.5. Let's just double check. Yeah, down to 6.5 on most books. SGA under though. I don't like SGA over his 6.5 assists, and I'm gonna make a strong point, in my opinion, for why. So this is really about the Suns not double teaming. They actually don't send a lot of doubles. They like to play you straight up one-on-one. And if that's the case, SGA, I think it's going to be difficult for him to find, his teammates wide open. If they just play him one-on-one, let him get his points. The second thing is that Jalen Williams is back. So SGA is under in 3 of his 4 games since Jalen Williams returned. As far as over the 7.5 assists. And the biggest thing that I found was that his passes, he only averaged 32 passes since Jalen Williams has returned, but 38 passes per game with Jalen Williams out. And he's under that 6.5 line. I think he averages 5.8 with Jalen Williams on the floor so far this season. Suns are also 24th in pace. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 20 or 15th in pace as well, which could, limit possessions as well. So these were things that I considered for this game. SGA under 6.5 is minus 150 now. So don't really like that a lot. I think these lines are pretty sharp. If I'm betting on SGA, I'm probably just looking at his points over the 31.5. Just because I think that they will play him one-on-one. Really hard to guard SGA one-on-one, especially if he's getting all those free throws and foul calls. So that's what I consider for this game. As far as this spread and the total, I don't think that I'm gonna bet it, man. I've been thinking long and hard about it. I think I'm gonna stay away from the side and the spread in this one. I can see situations where the game goes over. I can see situations where Phoenix Suns cover if they get hot from the 3-point line again, which is I'm not gonna say probable, but it definitely could happen. So that's my thought process on this game. It's not a game that I really feel super comfortable. I guess if I had to play it, I would take Phoenix plus the points. But if OKC blew them out, wouldn't surprise me at all. It is a cup game. OKC just really that good at the crib. I also considered first half under, just because OKC is 9-2 to the under in the first half. And I think Phoenix will struggle to score the basketball. I think OKC is going to be turned in this spot. OKC's been really good in the third quarter at home. In the first half, they haven't necessarily been covering every single spread. So, but their offense to start slow wouldn't surprise me. Phoenix has been really good defensively. We just saw them cover against Houston in the first quarter. We saw them cover against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first quarter and the first half as well. So that's my thought process on this game. Let's see. What up, Jordan? Deuce says, bless up. Chris, shout out to the Magic and Bane over his points. Also cashed. Ever since Hero came back, the Heat haven't been looking the same like in the beginning. And that could be it. That could also be it. Bones says also, I don't think Miami would benefit from another perimeter scorer that's dynamic like Bones Holland. Nah, me either. Appreciate you, Jay. I don't know if we'll see how that works though. Deuce says Fade Jackson. I took Suns plus 14.5. They better not cover. Please, Devin Booker, make sure you're on the court today. So if Devin Booker gets ruled out, you can get a better number, dude. And we'll see if he plays, man. Justin says he's on the other side of Jackson as well. Devin Booker plays Phoenix Suns win the game. Don't really see OKC wanting to win the cup. That's an interesting perspective, especially because they didn't win last year. I don't think I could agree with that. I think OKC, if they played against middle school kids, they would go out there and try to beat them by 100. They don't let down for anybody, but that's my thought process. We definitely differ. I think OKC want to win everything. And if they didn't want to win the cup, they wouldn't have had the biggest point differential margin. But that's just my thought process. Brian says, good morning, Chris. Great job yesterday. Swept the board again, doing a great job. Let's find it today. Absolutely. Taylor likes Colin Gillespie over his 3-point to hit 3 threes. He says OKC allows the 24th most points via catch and shoot. Gillespie scoring 49% of his points off catch and shoot. Versus teams that rank 20th or worse. He's over in 7 of his 9 games. Juiced at minus 154. I used a 25% boost. I couldn't talk you off of that, Taylor. Somebody's going to have to get hot from the 3-point line. Him, Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, Devin Booker himself, like Dylan Brooks. Somebody's going to have to get hot. 77 Figure says Booker running his mouth about they figured out OKC defense. I don't think Thunder like that. And they take it out. They take it out on them. So Phoenix gets smokes today is what 77 Figure says. Let's see. This is a nice stat. He says NBA Cup games 26-1 to the under. Can see that. Good morning, Adam. Appreciate you for tapping in. Good vibes today. Absolutely. Justin says he played over to 26.5. Went back to the well with Booker under 22.5 points. Line is gone. I considered that. I did consider. I didn't bet it though. What up, Ryan says great call on the under last night in the Heat game. Mark Williams points and boards. I got the line 17.5. Let's get it done. Dylan Brooks or keep riding his overs. Pause. I thought about it. I think he's 17 and listed at 17.5. I couldn't. I don't know, man. It depends. This is the thing, right? If you're a shooter against the Suns, you against the Thunder defense, you always got a chance. Like the Colin Gillespie looks that Taylor just mentioned, it makes sense because the Thunder defense is not elite from the 3-point line. That's the only way you're gonna beat them, though. They'll funnel you to making 3-point shots. If you can knock them down, you got a chance. If you can't, you cook. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it though. Not gonna take it. What up, Prop? He says, "Good morning, Chris. Just got here, but I don't love the first game either. I feel like this is a game where the refs dictate the outcome late in the game, spread-wise. I could definitely see that too. And this is a game that if I'm playing live. Like, that's just really what it comes down. I shared the prop looks for you guys though. Devin Booker and SGA, I would take them underneath, both of them under their assists, and then just a small lean for me to Mark Williams, but I couldn't play it because the number's too low in my opinion. All right, let's go to the next one, which I still got the recap up from yesterday. I thought I changed this. I guess I did not. All right, let's go. All right, let's go Lakers and Spurs. And I didn't change this either. Clearly, I was rushing this morning. All right, so Spurs, Lakers. I got Spurs. I got Lakers. Spurs versus Lakers. Line is up to looks like 6.5 is the consensus now. I considered taking this last night. I did not. Total looks like consensus is 236.5, 237. We'll go 237. So line open with the Lakers laying 4.5. Of course, the big news here is that Wemby got ruled out last night. He was expected to come back and play. However, he only made it to 2-on-2. And the way NBA works is you got to play 1-on-1, then you play 2-on-2, then you play 4-on-4. I'm sorry, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, then 5-on-5. And he never progressed to the 5-on-5. So I think that's why they continue to rule him out. I really just don't want to take any chances with Wemby. And because Wemby got ruled out, the Lakers, the spread went from 5.5 up to 6.5 now. And the other thing that happened is the total just went up, which that makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Initially, when I saw that Wemby was ruled out, my immediate thought process was to take the over. But then, like the comment that said earlier, I think the totals are 21-6 to the under, and it's a pretty high total. You just need 1 quarter from one of these teams, and you're cooked. Now, with that being said, I can't make too many cases for the under in this game. And as far as the injury report for the Lakers go, LeBron, like everybody's playing, Maxi Kleber is the only one listed as questionable. So just deep diving into this game yesterday, one thing I looked at was San Antonio's defense without Wemby on the floor. With Wemby on the floor, it's a 106.5 defensive rating. That's one of the best defensive ratings in the NBA, up there with OKC. Without him, though, a 121 defensive rating. So you could just say, you know what, I'm going to take the Lakers team total over. I'm going to just go to sleep. Lakers are second in transition frequency, but they're 26th in efficiency. So they don't really, run a lot in as far as getting out in transition. Look, that's just a Luka style. Even when he was in Dallas, he always played the same way. However, where the Lakers don't make it up, where the Lakers don't play fast as far as pace goes, they are third in both overall effective field goal percentage in the half court and as far as points per game. So they do score the basketball. We know Luka Doncic is out there with Austin Reeves and LeBron James. They have I don't really see the Spurs being able to slow them down and stop them from scoring, especially with just Luke Cornett out there. The Pelicans just got to, it's a different type of environment as far as gameplay goes. But the Pelicans did just get to 120 against this team. I think the Lakers should be able to score the ball as well. Last 5 games, San Antonio is 27th in points allowed at 123.6, 25th in defensive rating, also playing at the 5th fastest pace. So I do expect this game to try to be played fast. I think San Antonio's can get up and down the floor. The Lakers are playing at the 5th slowest pace in the last 5 games, but at home games so far, which they have been on the road, and I think 3 straight, they're 15th in pace. So they're about a neutral pace. A lot of those games didn't have Bron in them as well. This is a game where, like, if you expect the Lakers to be efficient, I think you do take over. I think San Antonio is also going to be able to score the basketball. So the first thing I considered was we know that the Lakers, if they run out of gas, they typically slow down in the second half. So I wanted to take the first half first half over. But the line was way too high, in my opinion. It's 122.5. That's like the highest line I've seen for a first half. Like, you need both teams to get to like 62 points. And it's not to say that they can't, but I just don't feel like there's an edge when I'm betting that. So I stayed away from that. Let me just see where the line is now. This was last night. It was only available in one book. 121.5 you can get on DraftKings and Caesars right now. I guess I would consider that. I think both of these teams play pretty fast. Lakers are 14-7-1 to the first half over this season. They're perfect 5, well, not perfect, but 5-0-1, one push in the first half as a home favorite. And the opponent team totals are 6-0-1 to the first half as well. Spurs are top 6 in pace. Lakers are 30 in effective field goal percentage. Spurs giving up 121 points per game on the road without Wemby playing. And the other thing I considered was with Wemby off the floor and De'Aaron Fox in his few games that he's been back. San Antonio has a 121 offensive rating and a 119 defensive rating. So we should see points. I think it comes early. I think the game slows down late, as we saw with the games last night. And that's what scares me off a full game over. So first half first half over, and the books have it shaded that way, right? 122 in the first half, but then the full game is not, if you split it right down the middle, it's 242, but it's not 242, right? It's 238. So the books are also expecting it to slow down. Like I said, I consider first half over. The Spurs are elite in the first half. I was looking at this last night. I didn't write it down, but they are a really good first quarter team. I think they're third in net rating in the first quarter. Their offense is really good. The Lakers have been pretty sound. Like, they're not top 5, but they're not in the bottom of the league either. Luka tends to play well in the first half. I just don't see how the San Antonio Spurs are going to be able to stay in front of the Lakers, and I do think that they're going to try to push pace to try to run the Lakers off the floor. So I do expect the game to be played super fast. I expect the Lakers to be able to score the basketball. I think they got some mismatches. I like the Austin Reeves matchup in this game. As far as like mid-range scoring, the San Antonio Spurs are one of the worst teams in the NBA. Luke Cornett at the rim is not going to give a lot of rim protection in this game. So that's what I consider, man. First half over 121.5 would be my strongest look in this game. As far as player props go, I spent some time looking into the player props as well. The first one that jumped off the page to me was Luke Cornett under his 14.5 points plus rebounds. So Luke Cornett, I'm not going to bring this back up, but Luke Cornett is he's only over in 4 of his 10 games so far with a number of 15 points. And this is games without Wemby, right? Lakers, they don't play really good defense. They're bottom 10 defensive rated team. However, they do allow the second fewest rebounds in the league this season. And Luke Cornett's under in all 4 games where he's played against teams that were in the top half of rebounds allowed. His rebounds was at 7.5. It was juiced to the under like minus 154. So I stayed away from that. He's averaging just 5.8 rebounds, which is a nice edge on the 7.5 number if you played the under. The reason I added, or the reason why I would add the points, because I didn't play this yet, is because Cornett is only averaging 6.5 points without Wemby, and he's only over in 3 of his 10 games as far as points. Under in 4 straight games, the Lakers give up the 7 fewest points to the pick and roll man. Instead, they funnel a lot of shots to the 3-point line, and that's why I think the others will be able to get busy in this game. Devin Vassell, Champagnie, even Harrison Barnes. De'Aaron Fox, if his 3-point shot is going. So I consider Luke Cornett under his 14.5 points plus rebounds. Let me just double check the line and see if this has moved at all. It's still 14.5. It is, I think I saw minus 112 on DraftKings last night. It is down to minus 127. It looks like the best line is listed on FanDuel at minus 118. That's on my short list for today. Luke Cornett. I also consider the Dylan Harper, like over his 3.5 assists. I thought this line was a tad bit too low, but then the more I researched it, the more it made sense. So he's had at least 5 games in a row. I'm sorry, has at least 5 assists in 4 straight games. That's what I wrote in my notes. At least 5 straight games of 4 assists. His minutes has increased over the last 4 games as well. The Lakers allow the 7th most assists in the league. He averages right at 7.5 assists per game on the season. When he's had at least 7 assists per game, he's cleared the line in 6 of his 8 games, but more importantly, 6 straight games. And with Fox, he's over in 4 straight games as well. The problem here is that it's a 3-guard attack. And this burnt me in the last game when they were playing against the Pelicans. And we took Stephon Castle over his 5.5 assists, and he finished with 5. So I didn't get there with Dylan Harper, but this was plus 102. I think Dylan Harper is going to be big in this game. Lakers don't do the greatest job protecting the rim. Aiden is down there. I think he'll limit Luke Cornett, but I think I don't trust Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic to play defense yet, and I think that's one of the reasons the defense has struggled. So I think Dylan Harper could get to the rim as well in this game. I like him over his assists more than his points. His points, I think, were at 13.5. And he is coming off a career high, I think, in the last game against the Pelicans. Lakers rim protection is a little bit better than the Pelicans, though. And the other thing that I considered was just taking the San Antonio team total over. And that's really just based off the Lakers not playing a lot of defense. I think they should be able to get to 116 because the Lakers, I think, going to be able to score in this game as well. And if they play to the wire, then I think San Antonio should be able to get up and over the team total of 115.5. So those are my thoughts on the game, man. I didn't bet anything for today, though. Whatever I do bet, I will share with you guys. Luka assist was something that was on my list as well, 8.5. I think San Antonio, not a team that, is really doing a great job of, allowing fewer assists. I think they'll put the Spurs in the pick and roll. Luka be able to find his teammates and be able to score the basketball. So that's my thought process on this game. Let's go to the comments, see what you guys are thinking. Dude says love Luka points and assists and LeBron over his points and Aiden over his boards. Adam says death taxes and Luka over his points. DJ says I'm screaming Lakers team total over today 121.5. So it was 120.5 last night, and I highly considered that, but I didn't bet it, and I think that it probably will get there if I'm being honest. 120.5 on DraftKings last night, and it's up to 122 everywhere except Bet Rivers got a juice minus 120 on the 121.5. Lakers minus 6.5 for Bryant might be too much. Luka rebounds over 8.5. Aiden over 8.5 as well. Dude says out of all of the Spurs versus Lakers, supposedly they never cleared a 237. Wow. Okay. But I would say Wemby probably played in those games. Markel says I'm sprinkling on Braun triple-double and then going to bed. Under for Jackson Hayes. Smoke says. Let's see. Taylor says Luka over his 32.5 points. Luka scored 68% of his points by pull-up. Spurs allowed the 28th most points via pull-up. Versus teams ranked 20th for worst in pull-up defense. Luka's over in 9 of his 9 games, averaging 39.4. Yeah, they give up a ton of points right in that mid-range. But I'm interested to know what Luka threes is. Probably 4.5. He's been jacking. He's been making them. He's been jacking. Dew also likes it. Been a winner at the crib. Trevor says Austin Reeves bounce back spot. I agree with that. I think Austin Reeves could get busy. I didn't look into his player props though. Vaughn has played Fox points after only taking 11 shots last game. I think he comes out a bit more aggressive. Taylor likes the Luke Cornett look as well. We probably looked at the last thing, the same few things. Under 14.5 points plus rebounds. I like that. It might be on my card for today. Deuce's Harper looks like he found another level. He was hooping the other night. Yeah, we got to keep in mind though, dude. That was against the Pelicans defense. The Lakers defense not that great, but it's better than everybody's defense is better than the Pelicans. Also, for the record, playing versus the Lakers in the home arena 10-0 to the over. I think I mentioned that. Tariq says, Chris, how you feel about Lakers first quarter? I actually think San Antonio first quarter. Looking into the numbers, like the Lakers played with their food a little bit in the first quarter, and it wouldn't surprise me if San Antonio comes out super motivated in the spot, and is able to win the game. Matter of fact, let's see. I'm not going to be able to pull this up on the screen, but last night I'm laying in the bed. I'm looking through the beat writers list, and I bookmarked this tweet from one of the beat writers, and it says Spurs net rating by quarter and where it ranks league wide. So in the first quarter, the Spurs are plus 13.7. This is full season stats. The first quarter, they're plus 13.7, which is 5th best in the NBA. The second quarter, they're plus 3.2, which is 11th best in the NBA. This makes perfect sense when you think about their game against the Pelicans the other night, right? They were winning 77-57 at halftime. So 5th best first quarter team, 11th best second quarter team. Third quarter, they're minus 9.9, which is 24th. And then the fourth quarter, they're plus 7.8, which is 4th. So the third quarter, for whatever reason, and he says this in the tweet, he says just a weird mental thing going on with the third quarter. Might see some tighter leashes on rotations out the half until it's fixed, but they'll be fine, is what Matthew Tynan, I think is how you pronounce his name. Tynan, I think I'll probably butcher that, but yeah, Tynan, I think one of the Spurs beat writers. So I don't really like the first quarter. I think first quarter over makes a lot of sense to read. I think we'll see teams scoring out the gate. I think it'll be a lot of first quarter points for sure. The total in the first quarter is 61.5. That's a little scary, but I think we see both teams up and over 30 for sure. Let's see. Taylor says also a jump in the schedule. Knicks versus Magic props are already open for Saturday. Brunson said at 20.5, he will probably clear at close at 29.5. He's over 9 of his last 11 games versus team ranked 20th. That's what got him. Taylor's on it, boy. He is on to the next game. Tariq says, Chris, parlay Lakers first quarter for game minus 105. Thoughts? Nah, not for me, Tariq, because it wouldn't surprise me if the Lakers played around with their food in the first quarter in this game. They should be able to score, but I just don't trust teams defensively, and the Spurs are a really good first quarter team. Don't let me talk you off, Tariq. That's just my thought process. I don't have any thoughts on Jake LaRivia. Didn't look into him at all. Not somebody I really pay too much attention to. All right, so quick recap. Going back through the things that we just talked about. These are from yesterday. So let's get these off the screen. First game, Devin Booker under his 6.5 assists short list. And I don't really have too many other thoughts. SGA under I think his 7.5 assists are gone now, but under his 6.5 assists, I think that's a good look. And then for me, it's more so the second game. Luke Cornett, under 14.5 points plus rebounds, I think is a solid look, sneaky solid look. San Antonio, LA, first half over 121.5, I think was the best number that you could get. And then I do think San Antonio is going to be able to score. Team total over 115.5. I just think, them being the team with the lowest total, because I think the pace is going to be fast in this game, I think that they'll be able to get there as well. Lakers are allowing 119 points at home so far this season. Suns just got 125. Pelicans got 121. Mavericks got to 119. Clippers got to 118. Jazz got to 126. Spurs, first time they played, got to 116. Heat got to 120. Trailblazers got to 122. The Warriors got to 119. So the only team that stayed under this total was the Timberwolves. So the Lakers' opponents are 9-1 to the team total over. I think San Antonio team total over 115 is what I like the most today. And the Spurs recently, because they play so fast and they have to be able to keep up, they're scoring the basketball. So let's see. They are averaging 119. They got to 135 against the Pelicans, 117 against the Cavs, 114 against the Magic, 126 against the Grizzlies, 112 against the Timberwolves, 139 against the Nuggets. I think I'm going to play that. I think I'm going to play San Antonio team total over and Luke Cornett under in the first half over. I think those going to be the 3 plays that I play today. Hopefully I can go 2-1, man. As always, appreciate you guys for tapping in. Link is in the description, as always, for all of the things that I use to handicap the games, Jackson, Outlier, Moneyball, Odds Jam. There are, I think it's 4 games on the board for tomorrow as well. 4 games on the board. Total's been out. Side's been out. Best of luck if you guys are playing, man. We will be back tomorrow to handicap those games and try to find some ways to make some money, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday. Be safe out there, and I will catch you guys in the next one.